I ran across a blog post that claims to have some details on iZotope RX12, including a new feature called Generative Fill that could change how we fix damaged audio. So I wanted to take a quick look at what's being claimed and give you my take on what it could mean for podcast editors and content creators. But I do need to be upfront here. iZotope has not officially announced RX12. Native Instruments hasn't said anything. So all we have is a single blog post with some specific details, but I couldn't find any sources backing it up other than some random comments about people talking about being beta testers for RX12. And I think there was somebody posted something from NAM where they talked to one of the developers who said something about RX12 is coming. But I couldn't find anything to back it up. So everything we're going to talk about today is unverified, it's conjecture, rumors, however you want to look at it. I feel like the details that were posted in that article suggests that maybe this person is a beta tester and snuck this article out there, but I can't confirm that. So take everything with a grain of salt. For context, I used to be a heavy RX user, using it every day in my editing work. I'm currently running RX 10 Advanced, and I'll get into why that matters in a minute. But when someone claims that there's a new version coming with features that could help repair damaged dialogue, I'm going to pay attention, even if I am a little bit skeptical. The blog post that I found was authored by Sean Kim, and the title is iZotope RX12 Launches Generative Fill. AI audio repair will never be the same. I'll drop a link in the description so you can read the article for yourself. Assuming RX doesn't see it, or iZotope doesn't see this and take it down. But I did spend time looking for anything else that backs this up. And there, like I said, there's nothing out there. So either this person has inside information or this is speculation presented as fact. Like I said, I'm leaning towards beta tester based on how specific the claims are. And there were those comments that reiterated or backed up that RX12 is in beta test. The big headline, like I mentioned, is something called generative fill. The idea is that instead of just removing the unwanted sound, it can reconstruct what should have been there. So if you have a clipped word, someone coughs over someone else talking, you have a barking dog or a siren, you'd select the region in the spectral editor, and the AI, machine learning, whatever they're using, will analyze the speaker's vocal characteristics, the rhythm of their speech, the noise floor, all of the little things, and generate audio that fills the gap naturally. If that sounds a little familiar, it's because Adobe and others have been doing the same thing with images, only this is being applied to audio. And I get why it sounds exciting on paper, but there's one thing for me. Current tools in RX handle a lot of this. Spectral Repair looks at the surrounding frequency content and interpolates across damaged sections. Declip handles clipping really well. And for longer disruptions, you can try painting them out manually. They're not perfect, especially on those longer gaps or really complex overlapping sounds. But they work for many situations you'd run into with podcast audio. Where this could matter is in those cases where spectral repair just kind of falls apart. You know, the situations where the interpolation just doesn't have enough context to work with. If Generative Fill can handle those types of situations better, that would be a win. But since I haven't seen it in action, haven't heard anything about it, all I can tell you is what's being claimed. The article mentions a few other things beyond Generative Fill. We've got Repair Assistant 3.0, third generation machine learning engine with significantly improved problem detection accuracy. It now identifies issues it couldn't before, including subtle phase problems, intermittent digital artifacts, stuff like that. Hopefully, they did improve the performance of Repair Assistant because I could only run, I think, 2, maybe 3 instances before my DAW would throw up and just start giving me errors. Next up, we have Enhanced Dialog Isolate, real-time machine learning processing with 2 times speed improvements, critical for live broadcast and on-set monitoring workflows. Speed improvements are welcome here, especially since Dialog Isolate in RX11 at its highest quality settings ran just slightly faster than real time. Hopefully, they've also optimized it so we can run more than a couple of instances at once. I do question the mention of Dialog Isolate for live broadcast and on-set monitoring, though. This is the one thing that does make me question the validity of the article, because RX has always been a post-production tool, and I can't recall mentions of it being used live in the past. We will see. The next couple of features are probably less important to content creators, but you never know. We have Music Rebalance Pro, which is described as a next generation stem separation tool with better handling of bleed, reverb tools, and transients. For most podcast editors, not really relevant, but if you do deal with music beds that need adjusting, it can be helpful for that. But for anyone doing music production, this could be a bigger feature. Another new feature is ARA 2.0 deep integration, which is supposed to improve the round tripping between your DAW and RX's spectral tools. If you've ever used the ARA workflow in RX, you know it can be kind of clunky depending on your DAW. Tighter integration there would be welcome. And finally, we have multi-channel spatial audio support for Dolby Atmos, Sony 360 reality, stuff like that. That's aimed more at film and immersive audio producers, not really the podcast world right now, because nobody seems to be working in immersive spatial audio in podcasting. I've seen some people dabble in it, but it just hasn't caught on. Here's where my perspective on all of this might be different from what you'd expect. I skipped RX 11 entirely. I'm still on RX 10, but I have moved away from the RX editor altogether. I still use the mouth declick plugin, but for core repair work, that's all handled by DX Split and DX Revive Pro these days. The reason is pretty simple. I find that using the RX editor is an inefficient workflow, especially in 2026. The whole process of opening the editor, figuring out the settings for each module, for each track, stacking those, rendering each track, and then bringing those back into my DAW, it just takes too long. Just ask anybody who's been using Audacity up until a couple of years ago where that's the way they had to work. And let's not even think about if we made a mistake or missed something and we have to go back and make a correction to it because we have to go back into RX. Hopefully, we can undo a bunch of stuff to get to where we need to make the change, make that change, apply all of the stuff that came after that again, re-render it to bring it back into our DAW. Not a fun way to work. it just takes too long. So that's why I switched to a plugin based workflow probably 3 years ago when Supertone Clear first came out, and it's easily shaved 20 to 30 minutes, for some projects up to 40 minutes per episode from my overall editing times. Tools like DxRevive Pro, DXSplit, they handle the heavy lifting right in the DAW without that back and forth. If I need to make an adjustment, I can do that in real time and not have to worry about anything. Personally, I find that's the best way to work, is to adjust things as you hear them play back in real time. It's tough to do that in RX because you don't have time to listen to hours of audio to make sure you're not missing anything. So I skipped RX 11 because it didn't offer anything that justified the cost for me. The updated dialogue isolate algorithm was, at least on my computer, my system, poorly optimized and didn't perform any better than DxRevive Pro or VoiceX or at that time, which I was already using. So I couldn't justify the cost. For context, RX 11 standard, I think, sells for like $399, and advanced, I think, is up to like $13.50. But that's a significant investment for tools that aren't outperforming what I already have. And I should note that the reality is I'd still be on RX 9, but I'd purchased some sort of iZotope bundle, which included a free upgrade to RX 11. There really wasn't anything in RX 10 to justify the upgrade for me, so I wouldn't have if I didn't have a free upgrade. And that's something we all really should think about whenever a new upgrade comes out. We should ask ourselves, is this something that is worth the cost to upgrade? Are the new features things that will be useful and improve my day-to-day work? With RX, it's usually worth it to wait 1 or 2 cycles before upgrading because, especially since Native Instruments took over and they went to the annual cycles, it takes about 2 or 3 cycles to add enough new features to justify that upgrade cost. So when I look at Generative Fill, I have to assume it's going to be editor only, so I can't see it saving me any time. For me to even consider using it, the results would have to be significantly better than what I'm getting from DxRevive Pro and DXSplit. I keep just defaulting to DxRevive Pro because that's been my go-to for so long, but with DXSplit, I am using the two in tandem, and that allows me to stick with the plugin-based workflow. So Generative Fill would have to do a lot better of a job for me to even think about having to jump into the RX editor. And I would probably hold out until I actually have a piece of audio that would actually benefit from that. As far as the other features, I'm interested in Dialogue Isolate to see if they sped it up and all that stuff, but I just can't see myself paying to upgrade just for Dialogue Isolate unless it just blows everything else out of the water. Let me pause things here real quick and ask that if you're finding this video useful, take a second and give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. I don't do hype, I just tell you what I actually experience in my day-to-day editing work. To wrap things up, I ran across a blog claiming RX12 will include Generative Fill and some other features. The claimed features would be significant if they are real, especially Generative Fill for those of you still working in the RX editor regularly. My take is that I'm cautiously interested. When iZotope officially releases RX12, I'll do a proper deep dive and test it against the tools I'm already using every day so you can make an informed decision about whether it's worth it for you. But what about you? Are you still using the RX editor as part of your workflow? Or have you moved to plugins exclusively? Or are you somewhere in the middle where you use a little of both? What version of RX are you on? And if there was one feature that RX had that would make your life better, what would that be? Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.